Hello everyone, welcome back to this iqoption automation series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to place digital option. I will be copy pasting most of the thing from my notepad as I aim to make tutorials as short as possible from now onwards. But not to worry, I will explain each line. So let's get started. Right click, do inspect network, and here in the search bar type place digital option. If you haven't placed any trade, you will not see any message. So let's place the first trade for this session, and you must be able to see message like this. Okay, and here this is the payload that needs to be sent in order to place digital option trade. So the bet amount is the amount that we want to bet. Assist id is the unique id for assist, right? And we already have function to get assist id for a assist. We simply pass the assist name and it gives us the assist id is available, right? And instrument id, so this is the thing that we need to dynamically create, and some of the things here are static. Most of the things are dynamic. So 1861, this is for the assist id, and this 20250828 is the date today, and after d here 052400 is the UTC time, and this is expiry time. And T1 is stands for time frame, right? 1 is the expiry time that we pass, and YAM remains static. And this C stands for call, and for put this needs to be capital P, and SPT remains same. Okay, instrument index can be 0, and user balance ID needs to be dynamic. So if you want to place a trade in demo account, this needs to be demo account balance, and if real account, this needs to be real account balance, and this name needs to be digital options dot place digital option, and version needs to be this, and this message. So these are the things that we need to pass, and we will be able to place digital option. So let's get started. Let's create a new module called trade.py, and this module will be responsible for containing all the code related to trade management. Okay, okay, so let's import these libraries and write class for this trade module. Let's name it trade manager, and it needs to have access to at least three things: WebSocket manager, message handler, and account manager, and define the attribute this way. Okay, so let's write the function that will be responsible for placing digital option. Okay, and it needs to at least accept 4 arguments, and that needs to be the assist. Okay, and the amount, bet amount, direction, call or put, and expiry time in minutes: 1 minute, 2 minute, 3, 4, 5, 15, 20 minutes of your choice, right? Okay, so as I mentioned, for call this needs to be capital C, and for put this needs to be capital P. So let's uh, create a dictionary mapping for this. Okay, so for time being, let's consider this put and call is being passed, but in a moment we will do exception handling for this thing as well, for cases like if let's say this thing is passed, or for put, let's say this thing is passed, this thing does not exist, right? So if these things are if this kind of string are passed, we cannot determine the trade direction, right? And they are not available, so we cannot place trade. So we need to handle these things separately. Also for expiry time, right? Expiry time cannot be like float, it cannot be negative. Same thing for bet amount needs to be minimum $1, like so we need to handle cases like if negative value is passed or 0 is passed, we need to handle that cases as well. So in a moment we will write exception handling for these, all of these things. Okay, so next thing, let's get the id for the assist, and some time ago we wrote function to get assist ID, right? And that's being okay. So here it is. Let's copy this thing. Since this function is being used in many places, it can be placed in utilities function as well, right? We need to import this underlying assist, and this contains inside this option assist, right? Okay, so let's import this. So far so good. Next thing is the expiry. Okay, in the last tutorial we wrote expiry function, right? And we place this inside this utilities module. So let's import that also from version2.utilities. Import get expiration, and this return us the timestamp, right? We need to convert this timestamp to UTC time because server uses the UTC time, right? So we need to convert this to date time format in UTC date time. Okay, so and we can do that. We can use this inbuilt date time dot from timestamp, right? And we pass this expiration and the time zone that we want to use and convert this to this format. So it will convert it like this: 2025, the date now is 2028, and the minute now is 11:15. okay, this will not include second. We excluded second and millisecond, if you remember, right? But we need to pass second as well, right? Here you can see minute, hour, minute, and second. So this always is a 00. So this can be this can be static. We don't need to make that thing dynamic, right? All looks good. Now we need to build the instrument ID. So we need to build this thing. So let's copy this thing. Okay, okay, so it needs to be this way. So this is the assist ID. Let's do string formatting and then pass this active ID. Just a moment. Active ID, and this is the date. This is the date. As I mentioned, date is like in year, month, date, and hour, minute format, right? So it's in this format: 202508281450, let's say. So this is string, so we can do string slicing. So we can get items from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. We can access item. We can do string slicing this way. So it will get us the my bad, just a moment, not here. Actually this needs to be here, and here we do string formatted. So this gets us the date. And then now actually let's make this dynamic, keep 00 as it is, and let's get from 8 all the way to end or -1, and the t1 is the time or expiry time being passed. So it can be expiry time. And another thing that needs to be dynamic is this C. So this needs to be either C or P based on call or put, right? Okay, so this is all we need. Now let's print this thing and see how it looks. Okay, next let's go to main module, and we need to import this class. So let's import this class, and also let's instantiate it. Okay, now we can access this TradeManager here. For timing, let's not connect. We don't need to necessarily connect as we are not placing the trade, but we need to timestamp. So let's do start WebSocket, and let's say we have now TradeManager, and this TradeManager has this execute this, and we need to pass 4 argument. We need to pass at least 3, because the expiry is like set as a default, right? So it does not have to be necessarily passed. Okay, so first thing is gonna be the pair. So let's say euro USD for time being, euro USD OTC, euro USD OTC, and it's a bet amount 1, and the direction call for time being, this will be converted to lowercase, right? Let's run the script and let's see what we're going to get. Okay, so here is our dynamically created or generated instrument ID. So here is how it looks. So looks good. Now let's build this message, and we can actually pass this to WebSocket, and WebSocket will place the trade if everything is as expected. So let's build that now. Okay, so this is how we can build the message. So this name, version, and inside body, we need to pass the user balance ID, and we can get that from account manager, right? We're storing current account ID in account manager, and instrument ID that we just created, and the amount, this amount that we are passing, and the assist ID is this, right? And the instrument can be 0 as I mentioned, right? All looks good. Now let's make WebSocket request and let's see what happens. Message, and then first thing needs to be this send message. This send message name is used in many places. Okay, looks good. Let's also do time.sleep just to ensure we get the message for this request. Okay, and let's go to WebSocket and actually print the whole message just to see what response we are getting for this particular request. Okay, good to go. Now we need to be authenticated, right? Let's comment out this line, and let's actually place our first digital option trade. Let's see if it will be placed or not. Okay, so digital option is placed. Perfect. Let's place for regular euro USD pair also. This needs to be -OP for regular currency pair, and let's see it will be placed for euro USD regular pair or not. So expiry time gonna be for this 1 minute and more. Perfect. So the trade is being placed. So we have successfully placed our first and second digital option trade. So far so good. Now let's handle particular message, specific message also for this digital option. So it has like name digital option placed, and if successfully placed, inside message we get something called ID. And if let's say expiry time, this time 4 minutes, we must get something called invalid instrument, because for digital option it's usually 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute expiry available, right? For binary option 1 to 5 and other expiry time is available. For digital 1, 5, and 15 mostly available, right? So let's see what response we are getting. So as expected, the message now contains, instead of ID, it contains key called message, and it says invalid instrument, and that's because we are passing the wrong or unavailable expiry time. Okay, so we get this invalid instrument error message for a couple of reasons, and one of like some of being this expiry time being passed as like not available expiry passed, right? And this thing, and let's say the amount being passed negative or greater than the account balance, right? So for a couple of reasons we get the error. You get the point, right? Now let's handle this message. Let's handle message for this digital option phrase, digital option placed. So let's go to message handler and create attribute called attribute like this. So this attribute will will have, it's gonna be dictionary, and it's gonna contain these two key, and these two also gonna be dictionary. So it digital option will place digital option trades, binary option will place all the trades placed for binary option. Okay, so next let's handle the message. The name is digital option placed. Okay, so first let's define it as a handler, and then next let's define a function for this. So as you just saw, we either get id or get message in the MSG dictionary, right? So first we will try to get the message. Okay, sorry, first we'll try to get the id from the message. Okay, from this we will try to look for id in this dictionary, the key id, and if the id is not available, in case id is not available, so this means it's error, we will handle this accordingly. Okay, so we define this attribute called self dot open position, right? So let's self dot open positions, and inside this there is a key called digital option and binary option. So we are handling for digital option now, right? This needs to be digital option, and inside digital option, actually this also contains something called request id, and request id is being empty, right? In order to better track particular order confirmation, let's add one more thing here. Let's actually create a random id, and we can pass this id to along with the message body. Okay, and then this random id will be uh, placed inside in this request id, so that we can do this for the purpose of tracking a particular order. So let's do that. Let's create the random id, and let's pass this random id. Okay, and here now let's try to get request id. Okay, from message has this, right, something called request id. Okay, what's the error that I'm getting? Needs to be this. Okay, so in this we will store the id if it was successful, and if it was not successful, or if error happened, let's store it as this way, request id, and instead of id this needs to be message for error. Okay, so far so good, right? Now let's print this here itself. Let's print this here, and here in the WebSocket comment out this print statement, and let's see what we are going to get. So we are passing 4 as expiry time, so we must get invalid instrument message. Okay, so this is how the dictionary looks. So the dictionary has key called digital options, right? So it has key called digital options and binary options, and binary option has empty dictionary, but digital option has this is the request id that we randomly created, and this request id contains invalid instrument. Perfect. Now here we can track that. Actually, instead of doing time.sleep, what we can do is actually do, let's say, while true, or you know what, instead of wasting time, I'll just copy paste everything. Don't want to waste too much time, I'll just explain what it does. Okay, so this request id, we will try to find this in this digital option dictionary. So this is how the dictionary looks like. So digital option, it's a dictionary, and it contains the key. So this is going to be the key that we are trying to get. Okay, so here you can see the key, right? From digital option dictionary we are trying to get this request id that we just passed to the WebSocket. right? And another thing is, let's import the logger. We are already importing it, just let's set up the logger. Yeah, so it will check for this condition. First it will try to get the value for the value for this id, and it's going to be in if it's known, it's going to be either id or error message, right? And we're also printing the error message for timing, fine. And here if I result is known, it's not known means result is either message or id. We'll try to first check if it's integer or not. And if it's integer, and if it's integer, that means order was executed. And if it was not integer or a string, this means order execution failed, and will simply print the result or the error message being passed, and it will return simply this thing. Okay. And we are adding timeout. We don't want to necessarily wait for 5. This can be 5 minutes, right? Within 5 minutes, like you will get message, otherwise something is wrong, right, with our script. Okay, so far so good. Let's run the script. Okay, so here you can see error, order execution failed, reason says invalid instrument. We are getting this because we are printing in message handler, right? Now we can get rid of this, and we are also getting this thing non. Okay, where are we getting this error from? Okay, for now let's leave it. This time let's pass the valid expiry time 1 minute, and let's see if our function, if this function is working as expected, this particular script is working as expected or not. The above script are working as expected, right? We just need better exception handling. And it says order executed successfully, order id, and let's go to iqoption web, and here we can see the order is being executed. Perfect. So it's working, right? Only concern is, why are we getting this non? Where is this coming from? Okay, this is coming from here. Fine, that's okay. With time.sleep, all looks good. Okay, so far so good, right? So this has this just a moment, this digital option has 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15-minute expiry, right? Let's try to place trade for 5-minute expiry, and let's see what it says. Is it going to be successful or not? So 5-minute expiry. Okay, order execution failed and result is invalid instrument, and that's because for 5 minutes there is no time left, right? The option is expiring in 550, right? But it's already 548, so we are trying to, so what we are saying here is, hey, the time now is 48. I want to place trade with expiry being 48 plus 5, that's gonna be 553, and 553 expiry is not available. That's why we're getting message, sorry, that's why we're getting invalid instrument. But if 5 minute is available, 5 and 15 minute is available, we must be able to place trade with this script. Okay, this script is tested, I have tested it. Okay, and it's the same script in my private version, it works fine. So if 5 minute is available, you will be able to place trade. But apart from 1, 5, and 15, like, you better not try, because these things are not available, right? Okay, so that's for euro usd. How about euro usd otc? Is 5-minute expiry available for otc? Let's see. Euro USD, digital option. Let's see if 5-minute expiry. Oh, my bad. Euro USD OTC. Okay, So there is expiry available for this right here. So see 5 minutes remaining. Okay, so let's place 5-minute trade for OTC. Instead of OP, let's say OTC and 5-minute expiry. We must be able to place trade because there is time remaining, right, for 5-minute expiry. Okay, so order executed successfully, and here also that expiry time remaining is 440 seconds, right? Perfect, so it's working as expected. Now let's do error handling and little bit of code refactor. Okay, so how can we do better error handling is this thing is going to be common for binary option, turbo option and bleached option as well. So this we can make this as common utility function, right? And we can simply invoke it wherever we need to use it, right? So we can, let's write this function. Okay, we will pass the request ID and timeout, right? Exactly as this timeout. Okay, we need to pass this request ID to this function, and it will do the same thing as a verb. Now we can get rid of these things all the way up here, and let's invoke this function. And all we need to do is pass the request ID, right? We pass the request ID and we will get the confirmation if the trade was placed or not. Let's check it. So order execution failed and reason says invalid instrument because there is no option expiring at now is 52. So with 5 minutes it's 5:57 and there is no expiry available for 5:57, right? It's working as expected. Let's pass 1 minute. Order executed successfully and also the order ID and order is being placed. Okay, so this new utility function is working, right? Looks better than before dedicated function, right? Because this function will be used for other options trading as well. And next thing, okay, next thing is this thing. This is for building the instrument, right? Oh, my bad, just a moment. This thing is for building the instrument, right? So let's write a function that is going to be responsible for building this instrument ID. Let's write this function, and instead of this, okay, so let's copy this thing. Let's copy and let's paste it here. Okay, and instead of build instrument ID, I want to say like build options body. Okay, so it's going to be build option body, and here we already have like active ID, expiration date formatted is also going to okay, so this thing looks okay. Next thing is instead of this one thing, this thing needs to be instrument ID. Actually we are doing instrument ID this way, so let's get rid of this thing. What happened? Not working. Okay, and now what we want to pass is the amount. That's all we need. That's all we need. And the expiry and the direction, we are passing the direction, fine. So we need to get we need to have this assist ID, right? So that this needs to be passed, and date formatted does not needs to be passed. Expiration, this needs to be passed. Direction needs to be passed. Instead of this needs to be amount, and this needs to be float. Okay, so amount is passed. Expiration, instead of expiration, let's say expiry. Yeah, expiry, and get rid of this doc string. Now what it will do is it will passing assist, amount, expiry, and direction. Fine, and let's simply return this message. Let's return this message, and here let's comment out this thing, right? Let's comment out this thing, and instead of this, what we can do is, let's say message is going to be self dot build options body, right? And then we need to pass assist. Okay, and amount going to be amount, expiry is going to be expiry, direction is going to be direction. Okay, so this is all we need to pass, and let's actually test it if this function is working or not. Okay, order executed successfully. This means this function is working. Okay, so my PC is a little slow. Okay, it's working, right? It's working as expected. This means our both of these two new function is now fully functional. Okay, so all looks good. Now we can actually do exception handling, and we are done for this tutorial. So let's get rid of this thing. This is working, so we don't need this anymore, right? And here let's add couple of custom exception class. Okay, so trade execution error and invalid trade parameters. Okay, so let's add these two class, and let's also add this thing called validate trade parameters, right? Let's place this at the bottom. Okay, so this is going to validate if the assist, amount being passed, direction, expiry, this thing being passed is valid or not. So here you can see assist can be empty, amount cannot be less than 1, right? It needs to be int or float, and it needs to be greater than 1, right? And direction needs to be either call or put. If it's something else than this, direction must be this, we will get this error, right? Because we like direction must be either either call or put, right? And expiry time also needs to be positive integer, right? Must be positive integer. And also we need a current account ID, so we also add this validation block. Okay, so far so good. Now what we can do here is we can actually do this here. We can say like try, right? Let's try this thing. We build the message. Okay, we build the message, then send this to WebSocket, and then this. Okay, so this is what we do. And next let's write exception. First thing is going to be, let's say this, right? So unexpected error during trade execution says this, and actually the most important thing that needs to be done is this. we need to validate the parameter first, right? So here, pass the direction, it will validate, right, if all the trading parameters are as expected or not, and then we do dictionary mapping, right, and then this thing. And let's actually add exception block that handles particular exception, like the one that we just defined. So this thing, trade invalid trade parameter execution, trade execution error or key error, right? If these things are present, these are the type of error being raised, we'll simply say trade execution fails. Otherwise it's unknown kind of error, we'll say unknown error occurred during trade execution, and we'll simply print the error message. Okay, so looks all good, right? So this is all we need to do. Now let's test these functionalities and see what we are going to go what we are going to get. So let's say instead of euro USD OTC, let's say euro USD OT, and instead of, we don't need to necessarily connect it, right? We don't need to be necessarily authenticated, just need to be connected, just to make it a little faster. Now we are testing for exceptions. So here you can see version 2.trade error, trade execution failed, no active account available. Okay, no active account available. Again, we need to be authenticated to the WebSocket, my bad. Without active account ID, we cannot place trade, so getting that error now. Error, trade execution failed, euro USD OT not found, right? So it's working for that name, and this is for trade amount, let's say 0, trade amount 0. Error, trade execution failed, minimum bet amount is $1, got 0. Okay, actually, like I don't want to keep authenticating, so for now let's comment out this particular block, and we should be good to go. Okay, now, okay, this thing is being tested, right? Let's set it back to $1, and instead of call, let's say call DDD. Okay, trade execution failed, direction must be put or call, got DDD, fine. And this is for expiry. For expiry also it cannot be 0. Okay, so WebSocket connected error, expiry must be positive integer, got 0. All right, so it's working as expected. Now let's comment out this line. Also, we need to have access, we need to get authenticated, right? And then looks good. Let's place the trade. Let's see if any other exception or error we are going to get. Trade executed successfully, order ID, fine, so it's working as expected. So this is what we did. We wrote two custom exception, and then we wrote like define TradeManager, right? So this is responsible for order execution, this does error handling, right, and all the thing, building message and then send WebSocket message. So, and other thing is wait for confirmation, this is going to be used for other options trading as well. And build body, right, dedicated function to build a payload, and this is the most important one that validates the trading parameter. Perfect. Okay, one last thing that we can do is let's define a gateway function for this. Let's copy this one and paste it here, and let's name it exactly same as this, and we need to pass first of all, yes, we need to ensure we are connected, we are authenticated, and this needs to be TradeManager, right? And here what we need to pass is this expiry. It can be optional, and this needs to be int. Let's set this to 1. And then other thing is other things are positional argument, right? So direction, assist, amount, direction. So this needs to be direction, and this cannot be none. It's not optional, it cannot be optional. This thing needs to be passed, and same thing for assist and amount. This needs to be end. Get rid of this. And let's pass this thing, assist, amount, direction, and expiry. That's expiry. Okay, now we can directly use our main algobot to execute the trade. Algobot dot this, let's say, looks good, right? Let's see what we are going to get. Okay, order executed successfully. Perfect. So it's all right. So we have successfully written the functions that is able to place digital option, right? And we have created few other dedicated functions to do particular things, right? Okay, so that's all in this video. In the next video we will write function to check if the trade if the digital option trade that we placed was win or loss. All right, so thank you for watching. See you in the next video.